I asked him one question: who actually owns your business? He said, I do. That was the whole problem. Everyone tells you to make more money. Almost nobody tells you that where your business lives matters more than how much it makes. An e-commerce founder called me from the other side of the world, built a profitable brand, around $1.1 million sitting in U.S. accounts and his payment processor, and he was bleeding money to taxes in a high-tax country he wasn't even sure he wanted to live in. But here's what made this call urgent, and what makes it a lesson for every one of you. He had a window closing, fast, and almost nobody realizes their window is closing until it already has. Here's how he was set up. He was a tax resident of a high-tax country. He owned a US LLC, but he owned it through a local company in his home country. So all that beautiful foreign e-commerce income, it flowed up through the local company, and his home country taxed it like he was clocking in at a 9-to-5 down the street. He was running an international business with a domestic tax bill. That's the trap. The money is global, the structure is local, and the structure always wins. So I told him the same thing I'll tell you. Your tax bill is not decided by how much you make. It's decided by where you're considered to live and who is considered to own your business. Change those two things, legally, properly, on the record, and the entire number changes. His home country, like most high-tax countries, decides you're a resident two ways. Time, spend too many days there, you're caught. And ties, a home, a local company, a life that says, I live here. To leave the tax net, you don't just buy a plane ticket. You have to cut the ties and watch the calendar. So let me walk you through exactly what we built and why each piece exists, because this is the part people get wrong. Piece 1, a new tax home in a territorial tax country, Panama. Territorial means they only tax money earned inside the country, earn it abroad, like he does, selling worldwide, and Panama doesn't touch it. Getting residency there is shockingly simple. A 4-day trip to start, a follow-up visit around the 1-year mark for your ID card, and another at 2 years to lock in permanent status. One apostilled police certificate gets it moving. Piece 2, the foundation. This is the part most people have never heard of. A Panama private interest foundation sits at the top of the structure. It has no owners. It has beneficiaries. That's what gives you the privacy and the asset protection, because on paper, you don't own the thing. The foundation does. For a business in a high liability niche, think products people put in their bodies. That separation is the difference between a lawsuit hitting the business and a lawsuit hitting you. Piece 3, the Panama Company. The foundation owns a Panama company. The Panama Company is the active engine. It does the business. Piece 4, the US LLC moves underneath. Instead of his old local company owning the LLC, now the Panama Company owns it. So the chain becomes foundation, owns company, owns US LLC. The income flows up through entities that don't tax foreign earnings, instead of up into a country that taxes everything. Foundation at the top for protection and privacy, company in the middle to operate, LLC at the bottom to run the US side. 3 layers, each with one job. Total cost to build it, around $12,000. But building the structure is only half the job. Here's where people blow themselves up. Trap 1, time. He'd already spent nearly 6 months in his home country this year. Crossed the line and he's a tax resident for the whole year, structure or no structure. So the clock was the real client. If he wanted the clean break this year, he had to leave now and stay out. Wait, and the whole plan slides to next year. Trap 2, the old company. You cannot leave a high-tax country and quietly leave your local company running. That company is a tie. It's evidence you never really left. It has to be properly closed before the final tax return, or the tax authority points at it and says, still one of ours. Trap 3, a U.S. contractor. Here's a subtle one. If your U.S. LLC has a person doing real work inside the United States, the IRS can argue your income is effectively connected to the USE, and now you owe U.S. tax. The structure has to be set up so that doesn't get triggered. Trap 4, how you spend. This is where people get sloppy and undo everything. Wiring money back to your old country for daily life, that's a footprint. Buying a car, a house, anything big and registered in your name back home, that's a flare gun telling the tax authority you never left. The clean move, spend through the cards tied to your new structure. Want property back home? Investment rentals can be fine, but a primary residence screams, I live here. So if you want one, the foundation owns it, not you. Put it together and here's what he gets. Foreign income taxed at 0 where he now lives. A business he no longer personally owns on paper. Privacy and lawsuit protection baked in. A clean exit from a high tax system done by the rules on the record. And a US LLC that keeps humming as the operating front end. Same business, same revenue. a completely different relationship with the taxman because he changed the two things that actually matter, where he lives and who owns what. He didn't hide a dollar. He didn't break a law. He restructured in the open, the way the rules allow. Most people who hear this will wait. I'll do it next year. And next year, their window closes, their day count blows past the line, and they hand over another year of taxes they never had to pay. He almost waited too long. You might not get a second window. If you're building something global and you're still wearing a local tax bill, that's exactly what we fix. Send us an email, jers@thejerzgroup.com, with your current situation, and we will be happy to answer all your questions.